We do have boards in, and I think Kurt will probably be back shortly to join me. But here we go. 1-0 by South, 11-13 as it was announced. It's pretty good 13. 5-card major, no jacks. But that ends the auction. Perfect timing. Exactly, exactly. I'm just trying to fill some airtime with at least some entertainment. I know generally over a week no trump, you want to be a little bit more aggressive in your overcalls. I don't know if that means West should be bidding with just a 5-card spade suit and a balanced hand. Probably not. It's maybe a little bit thin. But I'm guessing some players would. So either way, West should be leading a spade. So 7 of spades will go around to the Jack and King. And Declare probably going to attack the diamond suit. That seems most likely to me. How many tricks can East-West get if they know what's going on? Like, it looks to me like East-West should just continue playing spades, set up that suit. But they might be a bit slow, because they do have, what, like 3 spades and 3 hearts and 2 diamonds available, but they're not going to get all of them. They can either continue setting up spades and score 2 extra tricks in spades, or they could go after hearts and get a couple of extra tricks in hearts. But with diamonds splitting, one of the diamond honors on, Declare is going to have no trouble making this 1-0 contract.
What up?
Yo, welcome back. All right, I have gone into the Fryman and Rainier table is where I'm at. We just started play.
Right. I see it jumping on in.
Yeah, so these are the 2 Icelandic teams that are currently standing first and second. I mean, a giant jumble of teams are all like within a quarter of a match because it's still so early. But
Gotcha.
But yeah, currently these teams both have 64 and change victory points. There's a few at 62, there's one at 60, a few at high 50s. And
I see. Their 1-0 trump is like 12-14 or something.
yeah, 11-13. They were playing a weak no trump. I think a little bit more popular in Europe to play the weak no trump than it is in the US. Okay, Declare elected just to like kind of safely cash out their 7 tricks for their contract. I mean, I never feel too bad if like my teammates say that and they come back to the table, so I can't really argue. But Declare may have missed out on some over tricks here in 1-0, which could make a difference. I mean, in these shorter matches, get an over trick here, an over trick there. Suddenly you're ahead by 2 over tricks, and that's what they say, right? I don't think that's what anyone says. But they should, you know? I think I need to start this trend. So push board to start out the set. And on to board 12. I mean, we might be about to find out if they're playing a weak no trump at unfavorable vulnerability in second seed. Because opening 1-0 on the north hand has to be losing bridge.
I really like opening hands, but I don't know. 4-3-3. I think I would pass this hand in second seat, but I don't know.
Yeah, it's, I think maybe, I've always been calling it this like newer school style of bridge where people are just opening lighter and lighter and lighter all the time. like card play has become better over time, both for declarer and for defenders, which makes it a little bit more preferable for you to be bidding a little bit lighter. Obviously, like if you're not like a world-class declarer, you don't want to be opening these types of hands, getting to one no trump, getting doubled, and then having to like sweat for minus 200. That's terrifying. But yeah, a lot of players seem to be moving in the trend of opening all 11s. I would like to say that I was a trendsetter in this because I was doing this back in like 2009, but I think there were other players who were doing it back then as well. It was just not as popular then as it is now.
All right, well.
Yeah, they find the spade fit, so club, a heart showing 4 or more spades, 2 spades showing a minimum opener with 4 trumps, and then 4 spades by south. Happy to put partner in game. How is the game? It's, I mean, very tenuous, and this does happen all the time when you open these types of hands, but it looks like it's gonna come home. There's a diamond loser, 2 club losers, and a trump loser, but that's it.
I mean, is this so cold that, I mean, it looks like declare definitely could go off one if they lose 2 clubs.
Where's the... Oh my god. Oh. I just miscounted. A diamond, 2 clubs, and a spade is 4 tricks, isn't it? Well done.
But
Okay.
if you like, yeah, I mean, I guess if you kind of like eliminate the red suits, and kind of play a, I don't know. I mean, obviously double dummy, like, you can see how to make it, but
You can? I mean, I see how to make it double dummy. But...
well, I think if you strip the red suits and then I play a club to...
So you can't pull
about
all of the trumps. I mean, you're going to have to time this fairly well, right? Because you need to ruff a diamond in South's hand, and so you can't afford to ever lose or play 3 rounds of trumps. I mean, obviously, you're just going to cash the ace-king, but like if you're going to make it double dummy, as Kurt is saying, you can win the jack of hearts, play a diamond to the king now, and then exit a diamond. You know, East will get in. If either opponent breaks clubs, then you only have 1 club loser. Like if East leads clubs, you run it around to the queen. If West breaks clubs, then it'll go jack, queen, king, ace, and then you can finesse West 10 on the way back. So anyway, like you strip the diamonds, you eventually ruff a diamond in South's hand, you play 2 runs of trumps, pulling all of West's trumps, which is important, and then play 2 more rounds of hearts. And West is down to just clubs and diamonds. And now you're on lead in North, you lead the 5 of clubs, and when East plays low, you play the 9. West wins the 10, and they can give you ruffs, left, and diamonds, where one of your losing clubs goes away, or they can return the club suit, and it is now a frozen suit. So, but, you know, this is a very unrealistic line of play. It looks like Declarer might have missed the play. The other room got to 3-0 north-south and ended up going down a trick. I think that's going to be a push board at 4 spades down 1.
Well, the board just disappeared.
Yeah, it did for me too.
It feels like Declare was going to go down because, I mean, if they take, like, that line of playing clubs is obviously not the percentage line of
No.
play. I mean, just leading a club to the queen is better.
Yeah.
So.
Right, like you get the hard opening lead, you're feeling a little bit sad about your prospects, but you take the diamond finesse, your chances improve, the spades break. Now all you need is the king of clubs with West, and that's got to be a better chance than doing anything else. It is worth noting that both tables open the north hand in both rooms. So in case you don't believe me, people are doing this nowadays. Um, I think I have passed an 11 count once in my life. Um, and I will say once because I remember it very clearly. I had I had two queen jack doubletons. I had exactly one king, and my long suit was jack 7/6. And I just could not bring myself to open one heart with the hand. So I ended up passing.
That hand sounds awful.
But yes, I mean there are some really really bad 11s. 4-3-3, like that's bad, but the other hand had two aces and a couple spot cards. It wasn't the end of the world. Coward, thank you. Thank you, Jipme. I appreciate it. I do call a lot of players cowards for not opening their certain hands, and it's always good to get a taste of your own medicine sometimes.
I mean, I love opening. I open all sorts of things, but it's just 4-3-3, vulnerable in second seat.
Yeah.
That's close to me. Although it's not the worst 11 count in the world. You got a couple aces. So,
yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I may have come across the worst 11 in the world, and I decided it just wasn't good enough. I was also playing with a sponsor at the time, so, maybe there are some extra considerations there, but... North has gotten to 2 spades. We saw a multi 2-diamond opener from East, showing a weak 2 in either major. West 2 heart bid, passer correct. Ace of hearts lead. Makes Declare's life a little bit easier with that queen of hearts dropping.
South definitely knows partner's opening style, though. I mean, the fact that partner came in with a 2-spade bid and South wasn't even remotely thinking about looking for games.
Oh, yeah. South has this 14 count. It's a little bit hard to figure out what game you would want to play, though, which is, I think, a big problem from South's perspective, because if partner only has 5 spades, you don't really want to play in a 5-2 fit. Like, trumps can split badly when an opponent preempts, so that's kind of out, and your heart stopper's pretty bad. 5 of a minor is pretty far away. I mean, you're right, South's hand is probably close, but I do like the reservation that South has showed here in just letting partner play there.
Yeah, I mean, well, we saw what North opened that 11 count on the previous hand, so, like, North's hand is worse.
Yeah. North's hand is worse than the previous board, which was just a 4-3-3 11. So partner can't really have an 11 count. You have 14. Some of your points are wasted in the opponent's suit. I don't know. There is like this big pull to be looking for vulnerable games at imps. It looks like 3-0 might make. So I think North-South might lose a swing for their conservative actions here, or at least South's conservative action. But I think it's like a reasonable decision ultimately.
Yeah.
Like in 3-0, it's hard to imagine not making it. You're going to play on clubs, and even if you get the clubs like horribly wrong, you might have scored 2 heart tricks at this point. But I think in reality what's going to happen is you're just going to have to take finesses and clubs through East, because East is the one with the long heart suit and you can't afford to let them get in. And that's just going to work out for you.
Your very lucky partner has a 10 of hearts.
Yeah, that's true. The 10 of hearts is a big card. And the fact that West has the queen doubleton, of course. If East had ace queen 6, then 3-0 would have no play.
Yeah.
Well, so Declarer's... I mean, I think 2 spades is going to make. Declarer's definitely going to get the ace of diamonds, the ace of clubs, and... three trumps and probably one other trick from there somewhere. But it's possible that he could end up in some trouble given this 5-1 spade split. I really hope that standings link actually works. I'm a little bit concerned that it might only link to like a specific round, but hopefully you can figure it out from that page. Yeah, ATN points out a really important thing, which is why West actually returned to trump. Declarer can kind of like force an extra trick in these positions by roughing their winner with the short trump hand, given that all of his intermediate trumps are like the same value. So he could have roughed that 10 of hearts with the 9 of spades at an earlier point in play to like not really gain a trick, but like pseudo gain a trick.
Yeah, I hear you. That makes sense.
But like, I think here you just cash the ace of diamonds, you cash the ace of clubs, you rough a diamond, and then you exit and wait for your ace 10 of spades to take a trick. Like, I suppose you can fiddle around a little bit trying to score a 9th trick. Looks like you might be able to do so. No, maybe not. Maybe there's just nothing you can do. So yeah, I do like this. Ace of diamonds, ace of clubs. Make sure that West doesn't pitch a club on when you rough a diamond to hand. You know, if that was even possible to cost you a trick. And now you know about the spade split. You can just exit. Ace 10 of trumps will score 2 tricks eventually. God. Craig, who will be joining me later today for some commentary, has made the mistake of playing an online robot event. And I don't know, he likes to send me funny hands from the robot events because, I mean, sometimes the robots do hilarious things. It's great content, I have to say.
Just wait, I don't know, 5 years, 10 years, not sure how long it will take, but at one point the robots will be laughing at us.
Yeah, you think they'll have pre-programmed emotes that they can use?
I think by the point that the robots are way better than us, they should have, insulting comments that they give when humans make bad plays, to make up for the years of of humans.
So the OpenAI team that designs a bunch of these like robot things that beat humans in games did that for the Dota robots that they made. Like the first time the Dota robots beat like the best human team in the world, they were like spamming the chat with like a bunch of like insults and stuff to the human players. It was hilarious.
That's how you know that they've been trained on human players.
Yeah, exactly. No, but they weren't. Like none of the like robots that actually do well are trained on human play. Like past AlphaGo.
Gotcha.
AlphaGo was.
It's all
yeah.
It's all like self-play and stuff.
Yeah. It's just like they play against themselves, and if they win, then they like kind of store that in their memory and keep it, and if they lose, then they like erase it. That's like an oversimplification, but yeah, that's how reinforcement learning works in these scenarios.
Maybe only their chat was trained on human chat.
Yes, it's possible. But anyway, speaking of bad 11s, how do you feel about East's hand? It's different. Your first seat, not vulnerable, but...
To be honest,
yeah,
I would rather open the East hand here than the North hand before. Just somehow, one, first seat non-vulnerable versus second seat vulnerable, and also I'm not 4-3-3, but I don't know. You had 2 aces before. So.
Yeah, I think the previous hand was better. But I do agree, like, both of them are quite weak. The thing about it is, like, there's no flaws. It's not like this nightmare hand that I had with 2 Queen Jack doubletons where, like, 6 of your high cards, more than half your high cards are just, like, worthless and do nothing. Like, jacks are not good cards, but King Queen Jack 4th of hearts is a pretty good holding. And as you say, 2 4-card suits is quite nice. Well, north-south do get to 4 spades.
That's one way to super accept.
Yeah. South was not having any of it. 17 prime, 4-card trump support, and the side ace, king, queen, 5th, albeit in opener suit.
I mean, it makes a lot of sense. If partner just hits with like king 5th of spades, you figure you're have probably 2 heart losers, and your king of clubs is gonna most likely be on side.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, definitely. I think it's a very reasonable bid. Other table got to 4 spades in the north, presumably because east passed and south opened a diamond, thinking their hand was too good for a no trump. Yeah, that's exactly what happened in the other room. 1 spade, 3 spades, 4 spades. So this should be 11 tricks. Similar to the other table. Just losing a heart and a club. And there's no real way for the clubs to go away in North's hand. I mean, Declare could like lead a club to the king, hoping that East ducks the ace, but in fact West is the one who has the ace of clubs. Like, unbeknownst to Declare, sometimes opener doesn't actually have values. Oh, wait a second, a heart goes away. Oh, I wasn't even thinking about that. I'm just clueless. Yeah, so Declare does actually have a guess for the jack of clubs to make 12 tricks here. You rough the diamond suit good, cross back in spades, pitch your heart.
Yeah.
Hold on a second. No, the clubs are blocked. No, I was right.
Oh, right.
I was.
Yeah, no.
I was definitely right.
Yeah.
There's no chance here. And Declare might be realizing this right now. I mean, thinking it through, but you just don't exactly have enough trumps or entries to both hands to pick up the jack of clubs. I mean, from either opponent, in fact. But it looks like he is going to pitch the heart on the diamond. I mean, maybe you lead a club now. I actually kind of like the plan of lead a low club from queen third. Because then if East had the ace of clubs and West had the jack, you could then... now you have the entries to do it.
I mean, you're just going to throw the heart on the diamond and rough a heart.
Oh, God! Oh, God! Yeah. This is why I have co-commentators.
No worries. You only got one loser.
I'm just lost.
No, I was just trying to like figure out what I was missing. I was like,
Nope, it's okay. No one in chat caught it either. Or maybe they did, and like chat just laughs at me silently rather than like spamming Kek W, as they sometimes do.
no worries. Usually when, I'm like, wait, what in the world? Usually it's me that's missing something. So
yeah, sometimes this is a flaw in my commentary, but sometimes I get drawn into the fact that the other table had a certain result, and therefore like whatever the normal line of play is here, which was to like set up the diamonds and rough them out, just doesn't get enough tricks. So I guess I like stopped counting. But yeah, I mean, it's very clear they just had one loser. So what happened at the other table where they forgot to make enough tricks? They won the heart ace, they took the spade finesse, they played ace, king, queen of diamonds, and just claimed 11 tricks. Huh. Weird. Maybe it was a misclaim. I mean, it's possible that the operator in the other room got the number of tricks wrong. But nicely spotted.
Just for curiosity, if Wes was dealer on this hand, would you open?
Yeah, one spade, no question.
Okay, cool. I would too. I'm just like, it's an ugly spade suit. So, but I would just open this hand just because, I don't know, it gets it off your chest, I guess.
Yeah, and I think the old days strategy was basically like, when you have these 5-5s, it's okay. You can pass and like you can describe your hand later with one bid. But like, how many rounds of bidding are you taking in both scenarios? If you open a spade and rebid 2 clubs, you're taking 2 rounds of bidding. If you pass and bid 2 hearts Michaels, you're taking 2 rounds of bidding. And sometimes you don't get to bid Michaels, right? Sometimes the opponents have the auction 1-no, 3-no. And now what do you do as West? Like, it's not as if like opening is clearly correct. Sometimes your partner has a diamond suit, you don't have a fit anywhere, you end up in 3-no and you're light on high cards. You just go down. But it's okay. These things happen. Like, everyone goes down every session of bridge they play. I guess that's not true. I played a session of bridge where I didn't declare a single hand. But aside from that, everyone's going to go down all the time. You may as well like try and find your fits, because sometimes you just like have a spade fit and you get to 4 spades and you're pretty happy.
Oh man, this is going to be, or this has the potential to be a pretty big swing.
Yeah, for sure. What can North-South do? I mean, in terms of making tricks their way, it looks like they have 10 tricks available in diamonds. Is that right? They have 2 hearts to lose and a club.
Yeah, that sounds right.
Maybe a second diamond trick. Declare has to guess, of course. Whew. Well, we are going to guess swing. 4 spades doubled making was the result in the other room. Again, maybe surprising, because it looks like on a diamond lead, Declare can just set up clubs and pitch all of their heart losers and make 11 tricks. The opening lead was the Queen of Clubs, in fact. What is going on? How is no one taking all of their tricks? Am I missing something? Oh. You do have time to switch to hearts. Declare should duck the opening Queen of Clubs lead, of course. But then North can find a heart switch. All right, and Declare did not duck the opening club lead. So South was able to get in with the spade ace and then switch to hearts themselves. Not a large difference in the imp swing for the over trick. Would have been, 690 instead of 590, so 270 would have been 7 instead of 5. But maybe a missed opportunity in the other room. Well, 10 tricks, we're halfway through the match, and oh my god, what is their actual name? Kjoris is pitching a shutout here. 12-0.
Well, it's I've got another slam alert.
Yeah, this, and Wes gets to open the bidding, which always feels good when you have the big hand. Is that BBO not understanding special characters? There are... Okay, well, we don't have Kjoris in this room. Are they in the other room? No. So that player might not be sitting in, or maybe they just have a different team name. I need to translate this. I've been trying to translate team names because some of them have, like, clever names that I don't understand. Translate Icelandic to English. Here we go. Choice ice cream. That is what Kjoris means, or at least that's what Google Translate tells me it means. I trust Google. Choice ice cream. So maybe it's like your favorite flavor of ice cream or something, if that's because the translations are always fairly literal. But yes, BBO not understanding special character. The weird part is they have the special characters on the players that are actually sitting at the table, right? Like Freeman has that little accent over the I. But in the like history, there's just a question mark because these two things were coded differently. I don't know. You would guess Doktorinn means the doctors, which is a poor choice for a bridge team. That's true. Yeah, so Kurt, and for anyone else who doesn't know, in the 1970s, there is an infamous case known as the cheating doctors. There were two doctors in the U.S., there were two German doctors in the 70s who would come to the U.S., and this was before they had like a bunch of measures to protect against people cheating. There's no way to catch everyone, but now we have these screens that cut the middle of the table so you can't see your partner and whatnot. But these doctors would cough to give signals to their partner. And this was a massive debacle because everyone knew they were cheating and everyone kind of knew how they were cheating, but no one could sufficiently prove with evidence to bring to, I guess, an official court. And I think correct me if I'm wrong on this, chat, but the doctors ended up suing the ACBL because the ACBL banned them from competing in tournaments. And the ACBL was not able to provide sufficient evidence that they were cheating. Therefore, the doctors won $1 million settlement against the ACBL. Even though they were cheating. And this has been that was such a massive setback in bridge cheating because a massive bridge organization lost a ton of money being unable to convict cheaters that a lot of it went unchecked for 30, 40 years since then. Until, about 10 years ago in 2015 when we had a big crackdown. I think that's the story. Gotcha. Don't quote me on it, but I'm pretty sure that's how it went down. Why are we not in a slam? I'm sorry, I stepped away to tell my story, and now we get back and we're in fucking 4 hearts?
All right, how'd the bidding go? Okay, 2 diamonds is, I guess, this hand.
2 diamonds is balanced 22 to 23.
Okay.
Which, I mean, obviously West is a little unbalanced. They have a 6-card diamond suit. They have no jacks and all working cards. I think they're a bit underselling the hand at that, but...
Yeah, I don't know if there's what balanced 24-ish would be for them, but it's kind of how I would treat this hand. But
weren't the cheating doctors...
I don't mind.
Oh my god, 2014! No way. Was this really going on while I was playing? I don't think I played against them. Wow, 2014. So who am I thinking about from the 70s? Maybe someone knows. Okay, but it wasn't the coughing people then. I remember the doctors were coughing.
I wonder what 4 diamonds would be instead of 4 hearts by West.
Yeah. Good question. So what actually happened in this auction? I'm sorry, I'm my mind's now elsewhere. How is this only a 2M swing? Why is no one reaching a cold slam? They've, how many slams? 2. They have 2 cold slams they could be in either red suit. I mean, obviously 6 diamonds is best, but, avoid a diamond rough and a heart contract. But
the other room, they had a little more trouble.
They had a little more trouble?
They had interference. I kind of sympathize a little bit more.
Ah, good. We're playing suction. I just love the name of the convention, Suction over Strong Club, and also just like the convention itself. So one heart showed spades or both minors from north. Over the Strong Club, east doubled to show, 5 to 7 high card points. South bid 2 spades, preemptive. Has the side club suit in case partner had clubs instead. Otherwise, South would have been a little bit more aggressive. And West tried 3 now. Yeah, they had a little bit of a harder time. I mean, I still think that East-West probably should find their way into 6 of something. But man, you asked about 4 diamonds over 3 no from West. 2 diamonds, 2 spades showing hearts, 2 no natural. Or maybe 2 diamonds, 2 spades relay, 2 no natural, 3 diamonds transfer to hearts, 3 hearts, 3 no, 4 hearts. I think West just decided that they had this 22 count, which they do. It's 22, right? And they're like, well, 2 diamonds shows 22 to 24. And my hand is 22 to 24. But in reality, that hand is so much better than 22 to 24. Because you'll see these 20, like when you get so many high cards, your hand gets clogged, right? You'll see these 23 counts with like king, queen, jack third. And that's not a good holding. Or ace, king, queen third. And that's not a good holding. And you'll see them that are 4 triple 3. Not with these like 6 card diamond suits. You'll see them with a bunch of jacks. So I think the West hand, they just didn't really respect the trick taking potential. Oof. I am getting behind. Do we care about what's happening on the board in front of us? Board 17? I haven't been paying attention. Has anyone else been paying attention?
All right, let's see what happens. 1-0, 2 spades double.
Yeah, so 1-0 by north, just this week no trump, 2 spades by east. 2 spades by east is very weird. I think you should always start with double over a weak no trump if you have values. Am I right about that? Maybe I'm not right. I don't play against a lot of weak no trumps, and it's not so popular in the US. But it's just like very hard for your side to get to game if you bid 2 spades with this hand and you also bid 2 spades with like a 10 count. But okay, so East bid 2 spades, South doubled, negative. Sounds like my story was about Katz and Cohen in the NA Team Trials 1977. Perfect. I have my own group of researchers now working round the clock for me to fill in the blanks on my stories. That's possible. Wait, Katz and Cohen? Oh no. But now I feel bad because I did some commentary with Larry.
Wait, Larry
yeah.
Cohen? He was on this. This
oh, not that Cohen. Oh, okay. Oh, okay. Wait, which Cohen? You know what? It doesn't matter. Same name, different one. Got it. Yeah, I would never have thought that Larry Cohen would be involved in something like this, but I've been surprised before. It's one of the pitfalls of just like cheating in general is if someone has been around for a long time in the community and they've been cheating for a while, but no one's caught them, they build up this like trust for their name and like respect, right? Because like they perform well and people think that they're good. And so then they get followers. And then when they get accused of cheating, they have a ton of supporters already to back them.
How common do you think cheating is in bridge?
Very. I don't know. Like if we're trying to count like players per 1,000 that cheat, maybe that's a fair metric to look at.
Yeah, sure. Like percent of partners.
Yeah, I mean,
yeah.
To some extent, I think it depends on the level of play. like at club level games, and also it depends what you mean by cheating. Like there's people who will walk around the room and look at everyone's cards while they're playing a match point event, cheatabashi, and like that's totally not okay. But then there's people who like take advantage of unauthorized information, like their partner thinks for a while and then passes, and that happens all the time at club games. Like I'm pretty sure, like, if you were to ask what percentage of club game players do that, I would say 90%. Like 90% of club game players take advantage of unauthorized information. So, like a little bit of a different tone to it between those two things. And obviously it's more impactful at the national level if you're playing in a national championship and you're being sponsored and you're being paid, $50,000 to play on this thing, then you cheating is a lot worse than like people at the local club just going to hang out and throwing cards around, and like one of them wins one week because they do better taking advantage of the UI. But yeah, I don't know. Were you going to say something?
Well, let's kind of take out UI.
Yeah.
I mean, like partnerships that have
like agreements about
like not unintended information, like intended information for a partner.
Yeah.
I mean, like
right. So in that case, I would say it's fairly small.
Gotcha.
I personally, I've played with a lot of players. I've played with people who have later been caught cheating, and not once was I ever approached by anyone and asked to cheat. So, based on my sample, and I'm just one player, like, and I guess probably also because I was hyper ethical, maybe some of my partners who would have done it wouldn't have asked me to do it. But, like that kind of speaks volumes to, I think, a lot of the players who are playing at pretty high level bridge don't cheat. But yeah, let me think about like partnerships per 1,000 at, maybe like regional or national level competitions. I would say 10 to 20.
Gotcha.
But like to me that feels like a lot. That's still a lot, because that basically means one pair or two pairs in every field that you play in is cheating in these events. If
Gotcha.
you look at it that way. But yeah, we're not going to catch everyone. We did really well in 2015 when Boya Brogland kind of called people out and was like, hey, we need to start. He was like the Kramnik of his time, but he was right. So it's a little bit of a different tone to it. But yeah. Papa's is my cat says that's a higher percentage than his gut says. 1 to 2%. Maybe it's high. I'm not sure. But it's not zero. It's definitely not zero. Like there are always going to be people that we can't catch. Or who started cheating yesterday and we haven't figured it out. Some of it's very obvious though. Like a lot of the times if you just like look at a hand record and see the way that someone played a hand, you're just like instantly, one hand is all it takes, they're cheating.
Gotcha. Yeah. That makes sense, actually.
It's so this was actually one of the reasons why I'm not like super into it and I didn't like take this all at face value, but like when Carlsen accused Hans Niemann of cheating, like there's
Yeah.
something that top level players in the game see that like most everyone else doesn't, and they have a good feel for these things because they'll be playing against everyone all the time, and it's like when 99% of players act a certain way and 1% do something else, then you just like get this weird vibe, right? And if you then continue looking into things they've done, it becomes clear that like they're doing something unethical. So to me, like Magnus being like, this feels weird to me. Like it felt as if I was playing against a computer. He might be onto something. Now, I don't, looking back at it, I don't think Hans Niemann cheated in that game. I think he just played very well. But I think that's how all these things start.
I understand. I mean, it's kind of a different situation with chess, of course, but I understand when someone like Magnus thinks someone's cheating, you have to pay attention. Not only is he the best player in the world, but he's also a very ethical player. Magnus is, I think, proven many times that he has great sportsmanship.
Yeah.
I mean, I always found the stuff against Hans to be not very convincing. At least the over the board stuff.
Right.
Um, just in that game in particular against Magnus,
Yep.
there didn't seem to be anything weird to me. It's obviously not a top level player, but still, I think I have some authority to speak on the subject of chess.
Yeah, for sure.
It didn't seem that weird.
Yeah. So, like you look at this and you're like, this is weird, and then you can do more investigation and be like, a bunch of other weird things have happened with this person. Like, we really need to look into this more seriously. But part of the difficulty is that even if you know someone's cheating, like for example, in 2015, prior to when Boyer Brogland and I will include myself in this, but there were like thousands of people who got involved and all worked really hard to make sure that we caught every single cheater at top level bridge. And I'm guessing we missed some, but we did our best. Even if people had known that these pairs were cheating for decades, and we just had no way to prove it. So,
Gotcha.
and then like even once you catch them, even if you're like, this is a super weird line of play, like it's very clear they're cheating, but we don't know how. And then they just like give an explanation. Oh, I wasn't thinking that day. I made a mistake, but it worked out. Like, it's believable, right? It's believable if it happens once. If it happens 100 times, it's very low probability, but maybe this person has like lapses in judgment every fifth hand or something, and all of them just happen to work out correctly. Like that's the thing that becomes very suspicious, right? Is that
Totally.
that like it's not that they got a good result. It's that they did something which no one else did and it worked, and that they did something that no one else did repeatedly and it worked every time. We're such a high percentage that statistically speaking, like it's way more likely that they have unauthorized information about something than that they're just like taking anti-percentage plans and they all happen to work out.
Totally. That's 100% it.
Yeah.
I mean, at a certain point, once you have a large enough sample, that's basically conclusive evidence to everyone in the know. I mean, yeah.
Right.
There was an event in like poker a few years ago where this guy Mike Postle. I don't know.
Yes,
if you follow
I
this
do
at
follow
all.
all the poker stuff. There have been a ton of like cheating things since the Postle incident, even.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a big one. It was just like hand after hand after hand after hand, and the prophet himself, Mike Postle, kept getting all the right decisions. I don't think they figured out how he did it. I don't remember if that's true, but
I don't recall the specifics of that. I just recall like his like voluntary put money in pot, like the percentage of time that he's in play is extremely high, like way higher than what would typically be like, game theory
Oh yeah.
optimal. And just the number of blinds he's winning per 100 hands is just like off the charts. I mean, just numbers of standard deviations over what top players would be expected to do. And
Yep. Yeah.
yeah, it's just you look at the numbers and you're just like, it's not human.
That is exactly right. And I mean that's how suspicions are formed and that's how accusations are made, but I mean I've been on the side of the people trying to prove that someone is cheating. And even if you know, without a confession, I mean, I guess this happens all the time in like the criminal justice system. Like, and now I have learned how hard it is to really like convict someone because there's always going to be some doubt for someone who just believes the person, right? Like, if there are a ton of people out there who just believe everyone on the planet's good, and that's fine, like perfectly okay way to live your life, but. So like someone gets accused of cheating and the person just starts rationalizing why they did all of these weird things and it kind of makes sense a lot of the time. In like some twisted way, it can work. So it's tough, and that I think I used to be on the other side of the fence about this because a pair who was convicted of cheating beat me in a national championship. Like I would have had a national championship if they had not been cheating. And this was back in 2010. But this was prior to when we like found out everyone. And so this pair ended up turning themselves in. It was in the middle of 2015. Like we had caught a bunch of top level players and figured out like their exact communication system and, proven beyond a reasonable doubt that this is how they were cheating and how they did it on every hand. And we had given this call out to the community and said, look, if you're cheating, please tell us and we'll think about giving you a lighter sentence. And this pair that ended up, beating me in an event turned themselves in. And unlike many of the other pairs who effectively were banned permanently from playing in the ACBL tournaments and generally stripped of all of their national titles, this pair was allowed to keep everything. And they got like a 3-year ban and they're not allowed to play together again, but they're still allowed back. Like they're currently competing in national tournaments, not with each other, but with different partners. So like definitely in the past, I was like really pissed about this because I was like, man, I want my national title. But yeah, I mean, I think ultimately it was much better for us that we had less work to do. Some people came forward. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, in the meantime,
Yeah.
I mean,
We got to 3 clubs. A diamond.
yeah, I mean, it like 5 clubs is making, but it looks like you kind of need a great lie of the cards here. So,
Do you really need so much? I mean, Queen of Clubs falling. Yeah, I guess you do have a little bit too much work to do. You have to rough a spade.
yeah,
You have to rough a heart. Yeah, it's not great. It's probably close though. Oh no, they're not vulnerable. Like at Imps, if you were vulnerable, this is probably odds on a game to be in. 2 clubs and a heart guess is it's somewhere between 20 and 40%. And like the sweet spot for a vulnerable game at Imps is like 36%. So almost, like you're almost there.
gotcha.
Papa's is my
Yeah,
cat.
18 looks like it wasn't.
Yeah, 18 was
18
not
wasn't very
that
interesting.
exciting. A couple of part scores. But yeah, Papa's is my cat says, watch many apostles' actions. Very entertaining. It is hilarious looking back, and I think, hold on, maybe I can find this thing. This is one of my favorite like YouTube videos ever. It's the it's like this montage of the bridge cheating scandal. Let me see if I can find it. So who was it? This was the Italians. What were their names? Someone in chat remind me the Italians' names.
Was that Fantoni?
Yeah,
Nunez?
Fantoni Nunez. Fantoni Nunez bridge cheating YouTube. Let me see if this gets me the thing. There was just this. This looks like it might be it. Hold on. No, that was from 6 months ago. 8 years ago. This must be it. Let me just get through the ads and see if I can post this in chat, because it's just like this montage of them like over and over again, like, and you see very clearly how they're lining up the cards.
Oh, they were the ones that did like vertical and
Yeah.
horizontal orientation of like the
Yeah,
lead.
exactly.
Got it.
Let me. This is not as funny as I remembered. This must be the wrong video. All right. Anyway, I'm certain there was one that looked hilarious when it was just like it was like this YouTube thing with like these like, I don't know what you call it on videos, but you like pop up words and on the screen to like, I'm professional content creator, by the way, here. Anyway, but it was just like, card vertical, and they're just like, and the words that would pop up is like, that means he has the ace. and then it's like card horizontal, and it's like, that means he doesn't have the ace. Annotations, there we go. Yes. It's not like closed captions, because it's not like talking about the actual words being said, but what is going on here? Okay, Declare has taken
He took a club finesse.
Yeah, seems whatever. There's no risk of going down, and I suppose East's. What?
Yeah, I mean, it's just an over trick.
Yeah, it's not much. East made a takeout double though of something.
Yeah, it looks like East was intending to show monster.
Okay, yes, and then it makes sense, right? Now you know diamonds are 6-1, so
yeah,
East is more likely short and I mean, you haven't found out about the 7-1 spade split yet, which makes sense. Schmabel loves learning about the evil bridge player's lore. It is probably my favorite type of content to consume on YouTube, is just like cheating scandals and everything. Like, it doesn't even matter if I know what the game is. It doesn't even matter if it's like a video game or like a professional sport or like an esport or something. I'm just like, whenever I see the word like cheating like pop up on a video, I'm just like insta clicking on it. And YouTube knows what I want. It just, like, whenever a new one comes up, no matter what the game is, it's just like, yep, here you go. All right, one board to play in this match. This match has been pretty flat. And kind of as mentioned, let me quickly look to see. Doktorinn has 6 players on the team, and Kjoris only has 4. But I think I made this point earlier that generally some of these matches between top teams are going to be pretty even across the board. And board 12, we don't have a result, but we think it was a push, 4 spades down 1 and 3 no down 1. So last board of the set. All right, back to the action, right? We're here to talk about bridge. Oh my god, this is a hand.
Whoa.
6 diamonds by West. Cold. So I think East-West were weak no-trumpers as well. Again, maybe only if they were not vulnerable. I'm trying to look back at some boards.
I mean, 6 no trump by West
Yeah.
is, I mean, because I think 6 diamonds by West is they're never going to get there.
Probably not. Probably not after the first 2 bids either.
But, I mean, I don't know. This starts a club, a diamond, a no trump. If they get the 6 no trump, it will make.
Yeah, it's, I mean, not a great spot. It's, 50-50, maybe a little bit worse. You need the diamond hook. But these players have not really been looking for slam. I mean, throughout the day today, we haven't seen a bunch of players pushing for these slams, which I think is a bad decision at imps. Just like it's wrong to not push for games. It's true, like the imp odds are a little bit different for slam. You work it out where I think a vulnerable slam is about 50-50. Like if you're on a finesse, you're like break even in terms of imp odds. I haven't actually worked out the math on this in a while, so I could be wrong, but that feels about right to me. I can quickly do it. 680 and 100 is 780. 1430 and 680 is 750. Yeah, so those are both the same number of imps, the same 13 imp swing. But I guess it would be gotcha. 650 and 100 versus 1430 and 680. Oh, so it's exactly 750 on either side. And yeah, 50% for a vulnerable slam. About the same for a not vulnerable slam. 480 and 980 is 500 for 11. And 450 and 50 is 500 for 11. Oh my god. Wait, slams are always 50-50? I'm sure I knew this at some point. That's good to know. Good information. Professional bridge player, by the way. This is why chat always keck W's at me whenever I say anything. But okay, so 3 no trump by West. We have seen the players be a little bit more conservative. One of the things that I think tilts it in favor of being in some of these slams is that sometimes the opponents give you the finesse for free at trick 1. So if you're in what otherwise would look like a 50-50 slam, sometimes the opponents just like lead the suit for you, and now it's 100%. So it's a little bit better than 50-50 a lot of the time.
I don't know if, I mean, I guess this is just like whatever preference or partner agreement, but I would bid 1 no trump with the West hand, just assuming that if partner's bidding a diamond, if they have spades, they're going to have a strong hand to check back anyway. Yep. So
yeah, it's just agreement. I think more commonly, again, like for newer players, newer generation or whatever, you do bid a no trump with the West hand, but there are people who swear by the old ways of like always bid your 4-card suits up the line. You deny spades if you bid a no trump here. And there are positives for bidding or for playing that style. I mean, for example, if East-West were looking for 6 of a minor, the fact that West doesn't have 4 spades could help East picture West's hand or shape a little better, which is helpful. So it's not just all about like, are we going to find our spade fit or not? But certainly at match points, I really like bidding a no trump with these hands. The opponent's not, like, frequently a no trump passes out, right? And then the opponents lead a major, because that's what you're taught. Neither opponent bid a major, therefore we should lead it. Well, it's not so great when opener could be 4-4 in the majors.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I think East-West have won the border match, but lost the teams.